right, welcome back, friends. My name is Sarah. If I haven't had a chance to practice with you yet, welcome. And if I have, and you've been joining me, thank you for continuing to support me and continuing to join me on these yoga videos. Today we're going to be moving through a yin class, and it'll probably be around 30, 40, 45 minutes. I haven't yet decided yet. We'll see how juicy we get into the postures. But it's definitely a nice flow for us to just kind of really open up the hips, work with the back line of the body. So what you want to have handy today is a strap. Towards the end of class we'll use it, so we don't really need it right away. And then definitely a couple of blocks. We're going to be spending quite a bit of time in lizard lunge or runner's lunge, as you may know it. In yin class it's actually called dragon pose, so we'll get to see some different names today, I'm sure, if you've not taken yin before. And yin is where we hold postures for a little bit longer, connecting and strengthening that connective fascia tissue that's between the muscles, connecting the tissues together. And so this kind of muscle can only be, or this kind of tissue rather, can only be strengthened when we're holding for long periods of time. And it's when the body is cool that's when the tissue will strengthen the most. So we'll begin in an easy seat or Sukhasana. You can either bring your block underneath of your sits bones, or if you have a blanket. I'm going to start out cross-legged myself, somewhere where you can find a tall spine. And then just begin to relax your arms on top of your thighs. Close your eyes completely or soften your gaze down to the floor. And just begin to land here in your seat. Take a moment to arrive and kind of telling your body, preparing your body that you'll be spending some time here on your mat for the next several minutes. The only really focus or attention you need to draw your awareness to is your breath. Right away you might start to just explore your external environment, the way that it feels to be within four walls. Drawing that awareness down to your mat, to the four corners. Bringing your mind into your body and your body onto the mat. Take a moment to explore and notice any sounds within your environment. And then physically, how does it feel to sit upright like this? To decompress the spine, slightly pinching the shoulder blades together. Draw your low belly in and up, and lengthen the crown of your head to the sky. Together, take a deep breath in through both nostrils and fill up your belly and ribs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Another just like that. Breathe in through your nose. Fill up from the bottom to the top. Open your mouth and go for empty. Take one more big breath in like that. Hold on to it. And then open your mouth and let it go. Seal your lips and allow your breath to travel in and out through your nostrils. Slight restriction in the back of your throat. We start to create this audible breath in and audible breath out. Stick with that 3-part breath. Filling up from belly, ribs, and chest. Exhaling from chest, ribs, and belly. Take a few more here on your own until you're guided in to that rhythm and cadence of your own breath. And here, bring your hands together in front of your heart, keeping your eyes closed. Take a moment to gather all that information you've learned about yourself in just these last few minutes and use it to set an intention for today's class. If nothing comes to mind, I'll offer up the intention of balance. Balance brings clarity to our lives. And when we have clarity, decisions are easier. They're made with ease and confidence. Take a moment to notice where you're unbalanced. And maybe that's your intention today, is to become more balanced in fill in the blank. With that in mind, take a deep breath in. Exhale, share it with the room. Open up your eyes, let your palms relax down, take on light, and just take a moment to see what you see. And then on an inhale, sweep your arms out and up to the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. One more round like that. Take a big breath in, reach out and up. And as you exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky, and as you exhale, hinge at your hips. You can land your hands first and then walk forward, reaching all the way out as far as you can, sending your sits bones back. If they came off your mat, walk your hands in a little closer. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe teepee tent your palms, and then exhale, forward fold back in. Start to sway side to side, just letting your upper body hang heavy, getting into the hips a little bit. Begin to walk your hands all the way over to the left side of your mat. And letting your upper body just kind of drape. Feel that big side body opening as you ground down through your left sits bone. And then begin to reach your right arm up. Let it pull you up. Bring it back and then behind the ear if you can. And then when you slowly lift up, you can use your left hand to help you out here. Reach all the way back up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Walk your hands forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold it in. Walk your hands back in for just a moment. I forgot a little piece here. Switch out the cross of your legs. That way we get open in the other side of the hip. And then we'll reestablish that length through the spine, re-walking out. This time walk all the way over to your right. Left arm is in front now. We'll ground the palms to start. And then inhale, press into your right palm. Lift your left arm up. And then bring it behind the ear if you can. Use the strength of your side bodies to help you lift and reach both arms to the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Good. From here, shifting forward, come into a tabletop position. So coming on to all fours facing the top of your mat. Walk your palms forward by a palm print. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back to find your downward facing dog. You can pedal out through the knees here. You can shift your weight side to side. Spread your palms really wide. Ground down through the heels of your palms. But send your hip bones up and back. So reach your tailbone towards the ceiling and the wall connection. Soften your knees, but reach your heels on or towards the back of your mat behind you there. Take an inhale to find length. And as you exhale, walk your hands all the way back to your feet at the back of your mat. Find a ragdoll posture once you get there. So grab a hold of opposite elbows. Let your head hang heavy. Generous bend in your knees. Evenly distributing the weight between both feet. And on an inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, bend your knees. Walk your feet to the width of your mat. And take that inhale once again, lengthen, shoot energy out through the crown of your head. Now exhale, grab your legs and forward fold, bending your knees as much or as little. Then inhale, lift halfway, heel toe your feet back underneath of your hips. And exhale, forward fold to dangle this time all the way to the earth. Let your hands just drape, your whole upper body drizzles over your thighs. You can start to straighten the legs, bend the knees, just starting to feel into that opening behind the legs, saying hello to your hamstrings. Go slower than you want to, and then begin to roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Good, bringing your shoulders up, back, and down. And when you're ready, slowly take a walk up to the top of your mat, nice and slow here, finding mountain pose or Tadasana. Feet to ground down, drive your heels into the mat, lift your kneecaps up onto your thigh muscles, firming up your quads, lengthen your fingertips to the floor, and press the crown of your head to the sky. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, swan dive forward, hinge at the hips, keep a flat back on your way down. Inhale, lift halfway, press away from your legs. And as you exhale, step your left foot back, lowering the knee down. Walk your right foot out to the right so you can bring your hands on the inside, coming into our runner's lunge. They'll come onto the knife edge side of your right foot. And then just begin to slowly lift your right palm and press your right knee away. So this is the start of that twisting lunge back bend. If that feels a little bit too low, you can always bring a block under your left hand here to give you a little extra height. That way there's not so much weight dumping into the hips. But let the weight of your left hip flexor come forward towards the top of your mat, opening up your hip flexors. Stay relaxed through your face, neck, and jaw. Take an inhale, reach your right arm all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Good. From here, start to walk your left hand back underneath of your shoulder. And if you like, you can either stay on your palms or you can bring those blocks underneath and lower down onto forearms. When you lower onto forearms, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then just start to ricksaw back and forth on the toes a little bit here. Getting into that outer right hip, but moving pretty slowly as we do. You can always soften your eyes. You can always bring the back knee down. Good. And then go ahead and lower your back knee down once again. Come back onto your palms, and you can keep your blocks underneath. I'm going to set mine to the side. This time, heel toe your right foot halfway down your mat, and as you do, come onto the side of your left hip. So now you're letting the side of your hip kind of sink to the floor, and you can reach your right arm back. So now left toes are pointed the same direction that the right toes are pointed. Bring your right hand back around. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, your right foot back into that low lunge. Tuck your left toes and step forward into forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, press away from your legs. And exhale, plant your palms, step your right foot back, lower your knee down, and heel toe your left foot out to the left. Hands are now on the inside of that foot, setting up for our lizard or runner's lunge. So you can untuck the back toes for now. And we're going to press this left knee away with our left palm coming onto the blade edge side of the left foot. Again, you can bring a block under your right palm. But just let the weight of your right hip come forward. We're just pausing here. We're holding. You want to make sure that even though we're stretching the hips, there's still energy through the hips. So you want to feel that scissor hug action. Your glutes should be working here for you. And you might even gaze over your left shoulder if that feels okay on the neck. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. Now inhale, stretch your left arm all the way up to the sky, opening up the chest. As you exhale, bring your left hand down underneath of your shoulder. You can reestablish lowering the left sole of your foot to the earth. Here's where you might grab those blocks, and if you choose to come onto forearms, you can set your blocks underneath, or you can bring your forearms to the mat if you feel ready. Tuck your right toes under, lift your back knee, and just start to ricksaw back and forth, not only getting a little bit of a compression in the left hip, but also a stretch for the right calf. And then once you reach all the way back, lower your knee down. Come back up onto your palms. You can set your blocks to the side unless you want to keep one under your right hand here. Heel toe your left foot off to the left, and as you do, turn your right toe. So you're almost coming into side plank legs, and you want to make sure that you're heel toeing almost halfway down your mat. Your left heel should still line up under your ankle here. And as you let the weight of your left hip come forward, you can reach your left arm back. This is called a deep outer hip stretch. Pretty intense. We're not here for too long. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, kind of lift your hips, heel toe, your left foot back in line. Find your low lunge, blocks to the side if they're in your way, and step up to your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, press away from your shins, knees, or thighs. Pinch your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, lower your hands down, bend your knees, step your left foot back. This time we're going to keep the knee lifted, but walk the hands back on the inside of your foot. And you can let your right knee slack out. Start to reach your arms long forward, and then walk your hands away from your bent knee, letting the crown of your head just kind of drape down towards the earth. It's called wandering lizard pose. And again, you can always bring your back knee down for a modification. Otherwise, keep the heat going and keep the knee lifted. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, come back to center, walking your hands back around to frame your front foot. Inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky, bending your knee to flesh out that hip flexor, open it up. That feels nice. From here, bring your right knee up to your right elbow and tap. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Now exhale, tap over to your left, pause, extend your leg, and drop your hips all the way down to the floor. So your back toes are kind of at a weird tuck. Try to keep your knee neutral if you can, and if you want a little extra, come on down to your forearms, and you're sort of twisting your upper half to the right while your lower half is twisting to the left. So we're moving in oppositions here. Stay soft through your shoulders, your head, your face muscles, and jaw muscles. And then rising back onto your palms, lift your hips. Retract your right knee in and step back into your lunge. Step up to forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, step your right foot back, keeping the knee lifted, but walk the hands on the inside. So widen your left knee here. This time we're walking far away, upper to this upper right corner of our mat, maybe even off of our mat, letting the crown of the head drop. Again, you can modify by bringing the knee down. You can let your left knee slack out here to really open up that outer hip. Wandering lizard for one more big breath in. And exhale, return your hands back to frame your left foot. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Bend your knee, peel open your hip to open up that hip flexor. Squeeze your left heel toward your right glute. And then exhale to your same elbow. Shift forward. Inhale, up and back. You can straighten it out if you like. And then over to your right elbow. Extend the leg through, keeping your chest forward. Lower your left hip to the earth. Feel that stretch through the left IT band. And if you want a little extra, slowly lower down onto your forearm. So working your upper body to the left now, while the lower body works to the right. Really drawing the right hip bone down to the floor. Keep your left foot flexed. Inhale, return to your palms. Exhale, lift your hips, retract your left knee and step forward into your lunge. Forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back. Find your lizard. This time your toes stay facing forward and your back knee stays lifted. Maybe now that we've been here a few times, you might have the space to lower down onto your forearms, whether that's to the floor or bring your blocks back underneath. Another option here is to really get comfortable in this variation on your forearms and see if you can snuggle your right shoulder underneath of your right knee and just pause. Full breaths in. Full breaths out. Good. Return your hands back underneath of your shoulders. Heel toe your right foot back in line with your hip. And sweep the leg up into your three-legged dog. Bend your knee, peel open your hip. As you exhale, bring your right knee behind your right wrist crease to set up for your half pigeon. So find a figure 7 with your right leg. Scoot your left leg as far back as it'll go. If you need extra support because your right hip doesn't touch the earth, slide it underneath here. And then try to walk your hands underneath of your shoulders to lift up through your spine. Check in, make sure your heel's in line with your hip. As you exhale, travel forward either onto forearms or forehead. You can always stack fists if you don't have blocks or yoga equipment. And we'll settle in for a few rounds of breath, noticing the sensation in the outer right hip. Finding balance, we'll repeat this on the other side in a moment. But with all the work we've done through our lizard lunges, our dragon lunges, notice your hips. Notice how one side feels in comparison to the other. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, walk your hands up underneath of your shoulders. Slide any support you have to the side. And as you exhale, tuck your left toe, send your right leg up, back, and peel it open if you want to open up that hip flexor. Set the foot down into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up onto your toes, bend your knees. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And as you exhale, step your right toes back. This time, keeping your left toes forward, bring your hands on the inside of your foot for your lizard. Option to stay on your palms or lower down onto your forearms, whether that be to the blocks or to the earth. Stay here or snuggle your left shoulder underneath of your left knee. Just breathing, stay strong through your back, hamstring, and leg. Inhale, return to your palms. Exhale, send your left leg up, back, bend your knee, peel open. And this time, bring your left knee behind your left wrist crease, set up for your half pigeon here. Scoot your right leg back, add support where needed. Walk your hands under your shoulder to gain length in your torso. Keep it there as you exhale and fold down, either onto forearms or forehead. And so now that we've kind of worked our way over to the left side, noticing the clarity within your hips now, after we've balanced them out. Enjoy 3 more breath cycles here. Inhale, return to your palms. Exhale, tuck your right toes, send your left leg up and back. You can bend the knee, maybe roll the ankle. And then returning to your down dog. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look forward and step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And as you exhale, sit down onto your mat, grab your strap here. And then lie on down to your back. We don't need our blocks. Well, actually, go ahead and bring your blocks. Just in case you want them for Supine Twist is what we'll use them for. Good. And as you come on down to your back, you can grab your knees here if you like. Take your right foot and loop it into your strap. Even if you don't have a loop like me, you can just take your strap, right, and just send it around the foot. In fact, I encourage this way. That way you're pulling down with both arms, but if you need to loop your strap around your wrist here if it's too long, do so. Keep your right knee softly bent, your right foot flexed. Left knee can stay bent or left leg can go long for more intensity in this hamstring stretch. Take a full breath in, and then as you exhale, again, you can bend your knee here as much or as little. You know the stretch and the sensation that you're feeling best, more so than I do. Right about here through our hamstring, all the way up to the tendons that surround the Achilles heel. And just breathing here, keep both shoulder blades grounded to the earth. Maybe close your eyes. It's not a big movement, right? So every inhale you want to think about kind of dragging or driving your heel up to the sky. And then every exhale you want to think about pulling then the thigh closer to your ribs. One more big breath in. One more full breath out. Lift your left leg up, loop your foot into the strap, and then take your right foot back down to the earth. Soften your left knee to start. Take a big breath in, flex your foot. Exhale, pull your left thigh closer to your chest. One side might be very different than the other. I know mine are. You can stay with the right knee bent, or you can lengthen the right leg long. With every inhale, drive your left heel up. With every exhale, see if you can just pull your thigh a millimeter closer to your chest. 3 more breaths. And go ahead and release your foot from your strap. Set your strap over to the side and give your knees a hug into the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Take a hold of opposite elbows. Maybe bring your nose up into your knees. And we'll finish with a supine twist. So as you open your arms out to the horizon or out to a T, let your knees fall over to the right. You can keep your gaze up to the sky or take them off to the left. One more cyclo breath here. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. And exhale, let your knees fall over to the left. Again, gaze can remain up or head over to your right fingertips. Take a big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Return to center, and exhale, maybe a final squeeze of the knees in. Let your arms and your legs lengthen out. Final resting pose. If you'd like to take butterfly here and you've got your blocks by your sides, you want that support, slide it under your knees, and then your arms could take on goalposts or even reach overhead, placing one palm into the other. You can stay here for your Shavasana, or you can lengthen your legs out nice and long for corpse pose. Just some place where you can get heavy for the next several minutes. I will let you know when class has officially come to an end, but for now, just see if you can rest in, restore, rejuvenate your body before you head back out into the rest of your day. Deep peace to you. Know that you are more than welcome to stay here. In fact, I encourage it, especially if you're in your own space. If you're ready to move on, just start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe stretch long or hug the knees in, depending on where you landed. And then roll to one side. Pause in the fetal position for a full cycle of breath. And pressing up with as little effort as you can, work your way back up into an easy seat. Mind your blocks. Find a nice tall spine and bring your hands back to heart center. Just as we began class, close your eyes and return to your nose breath. Maybe out the mouth for this first round. Bow your head towards your prayer hands, taking in any new wisdom or light from your practice today. A beautifully balanced yin practice to hopefully take you out into the rest of your day with clarity, with balance, with ease and confidence. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. May peace, may love, may light be felt within each and every one of you. Bless you and everyone that you meet. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for sharing your practice with me. As always, comments, suggestions, feedback are always welcome. Let me know if you guys need anything or if there's anything missing. I'm happy to create and workshop whatever it is that you like. So until I flow with you next time, namaste.